inside that third hole right there from the top row. Can we see a wire moving in there?
I see something moving.
Okay. It's good. It's good.
That magnet's in there. That magnet's in there. That magnet's in there. Got a little pookie on them, but they're in there.
Is the pookie bad?
I don't know. A little bit of maintenance. A little bit of maintenance. That's what's going on. We've been experiencing some issues. Intermittent voltage loss issues for our gear position selector. So we basically tore the transmission out. Good news, on a lift at least, it only takes an hour to pull the transmission out. It's the first time we've had the transmission out since the car's been running. And we tore into the side cover, and basically what we're going to do, because we have a voltage loss issue at one of the wires, we're going to just have the whole wiring harness redone, and we're going to put it back in the car. And then we should have this fixed with this wiring harness being redone. In the meantime, I've been working on a screen, a little mesh screen, which is going to go in here. Got to modify it a little bit more, and basically it's just going to block any airflow getting into the turbo. It'll make more sense whenever I'm finished with it, but I'm going to finish that up today, and then we are going to start on our 210 millimeter diff project for the rear end, since we're not going to be able to hold any power with the stock diff. We've got a 210 millimeter diff, and we got a new LSD for it in this week. We're going to rebuild the diff, which is over here. We are going to freshen it up. I say rebuild it. We're going to freshen it up. There it is. You can see it has the E30 subframe holes, and the drive shaft will bolt up to the pinion. We're going to refresh the diff. I've got a 373 gear set that I'm going to be putting in it. I've got that LSD in there, an E46 diff cover that we're going to modify to put the speed sensor in, because they don't have them on the cover. And then a buddy of ours, Virgil, sells a 210 diff swap kit for the front cover for using E46 cover into an E30. So we're going to put that in there and get that mounted and situated. And then we've got some stuff we've got to do to the trailing arms back here, which includes fitting in E34 drive flanges and hubs. Yes, those are 5-lug hubs, and we're 4-lug, so we are going to either weld those up and cut them down to 4-lug, or we're going to just buy the billet stuff and throw it in there. And then these are Porsche 930 axles, which use large case CVs, which we have a box of large case CV axles in there. So hopefully we'll have a bulletproof rear end setup here pretty soon. But none of that matters until we get this thing fixed. So, oh, and you're probably wondering, like, is that a whole other DCT? Yes. Yes, it is. In fact, this one came out of a running and driving car that didn't have any issues. Well, I say it didn't have any issues. It had a buzzing noise from something in the trans, probably a solenoid or something. Anyways, they all kind of buzz like that, and you can't hear it in my car because it's so damn loud. So I didn't care. It didn't come with a clutch basket. Clutch basket's not in there. Didn't come with it. So what we'll do is, let's just say that we can't get this transmission working. Let's just say it continues to mess up, leave us stranded. By the way, it left me stranded a few times. Let's say we can't resolve this. This is already pre-wired All the wiring comes to here. It's all done in here like this. All this wiring is already done in this one. And it goes to the bulkhead, and then it's got its own separate wiring harness, which we've got to change a couple of plugs in order to adapt it to our setup. But basically, let's just say that this doesn't work. We're basically just going to put this one in there and rolling down the road. So we have a backup plan. But we found some things with this one that we feel like are easily resolved. We're going to take it out. We're going to have it rewired. And we're going to throw it back in there, and I think we'll be good to go. So that is what's on the agenda. That's going to take a few weeks. So we're going to be out, guys, for a little while on content as we fix this car. But once we're back, if that fixes it, boy, the car is ready to roll. We are going to have some fun in this thing. We've got a race coming up in of May. We're going to be going to Streetcar Takeover. Golly, I just woke up. We've got a race that's coming up at the end of May, May 31st through, well, starts on May 30th. There's a meet, and then it goes to June 1st. So it's May 31st is the race for roll racing at Streetcar Takeover in Ennis. We're going to be competing in that race. There's 4 or 5 different classes. Don't know which class we're going to land in. It depends on how fast the car is. I've never really taken it past 150 before, so we may just stick to like 150 to 160 mile an hour class. I'm sure it can go a lot faster. We fixed obviously fixed the voltage problem and the fuel pressure problem. So we have 1,000 horsepower on tap in this car. I don't want to use it. But basically I'm going there for 2 things. We want to do a roll race event because we've never done one. I want to get the car out there just in a competition format just to see how it does and kind of expose the car. And then I want to use the track to set a personal best on 60 to 130. It's going to be a nicely prepped track, so I'm really hoping that I can just maybe leave it in 3rd gear for a couple for qualifying passes after I've set mine, and kind of roll into 3rd gear and try to hit my personal best on a 60 to 130. I think that a prep track is obviously going to be what I need in order to do that. So that's the plan. May 31st and June 1st, Streetcar Takeover, Dallas. We're entering the roll race class. As long as the transmission works, we should be able to pull up to the staging lanes and make a couple of hits. Dallas is full of fast cars. I mean, there's nothing slow out there. Those guys all have the fastest cars, and Dallas and Houston have the fastest cars in the country, I think. So we're going to be probably pulling up next to Calvo Vipers and GTRs and UGR Lambos. We got nothing for those guys, okay? Don't get it twisted. Those guys do 2 seconds, 60 to 130s. Like we're never going to get there with this car. It's just not that type of chassis. The best we could possibly ever hope for with this car would probably be like a mid-3 in the perfect ideal conditions at over 1,000 horsepower. To go faster than that, you need 1,500 horsepower. 1,500 to 2,000 horsepower to get close to the 2s. It's just never going to happen. So our goal of just breaking into the 3s is more realized at a track setting, and that's our goal. So we're going to try to do that. If we get it, great. I'll be happy. I just want to do that. I don't even care if I win the classes, but it would be fun to compete and see how the car does. Maybe get some publicity on the car and kind of show it off. So yes, big announcement, Streetcar Takeover, May 31st. So we'll be doing a whole video on that. I don't see a whole lot of publicity around Streetcar Takeover, not nearly as much as like Texas 2K. So I'm hoping that we can showcase that for them. Their media is kind of lacking, so it'd be kind of cool to go out there and actually get some footage of just not just my car but everybody's. So God, is that a Supra?
What?
Oh my God.
It's a Corolla, brother.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, my bad. What are them other ones called? The GTs? The Toyota, is it?
The Celica?
Yeah, Celica GT.
I mean, technically.
Yeah, it's a Celica GT.
It was a
I
Celica,
just got rid of the
Celica
bug-
Supra.
I got rid of the bugger. Headlight.
Yeah, you went fixed headlight.
Yeah. Super odd.
That's it.
But yeah.
This is S197. Got a little baby turbo on it, you know, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Have a little meet here. Night meet at the shop. That's it. You know what it is. God dang. Boy. He was getting it. 240i, love that color. Kind of want that color on my car. KA. Look at that KA. Dark as hell. The Whipple car. Yeah. Got a Whipple 3.0. Deshaun's car. He's got my old 6466 on it. T51R mod. When I went next gen 6870, we put it on this car. Zach's Omni. The big ass front mount. Oh, look at there. Nick B, yo. What's he hiding? Nick B's hiding. Why's he hiding? Caliber? God, I ain't seen a Caliber in like 15 years. 335. He can get gapped, for sure. The 5.0. Another 1 Series. Don't see many of those. Used to drive one. The Camry. Ooh, flossing. This bag Mustang, Cam's Mustang. This thing's ridiculous. Only one transmission remains. We didn't even have to use it, guys. We were able to get the wiring fixed. Had a couple of little kinks. Shout out to Mike Dodge at Seems Legit. He got us taken care of very quickly. I cannot stress to you enough how good his service is. Got the mechatronics shipped over to him. Within a week, he had that sucker back in the mail and shipped back to us. And I mean, when I say within a week, I think he did it on like Monday or Tuesday, and it would have been back the next weekend. That it would have been back that Thursday or Friday, because he shipped it out immediately. But it got hung up in Hodgkins, Illinois, at their facility, and so it took several extra days to get here. No fault of his own. And then we had to repin this connector. We had a couple of pins that were bad when we depinned it, and some of the retainers in here for the terminals. And I'm using this. We don't use this, but I'm using an example. But some of the retainers in here that hold the terminals in were bad, so we had to swap some pins around. And he overnighted us the pins, because those pins are hard to find. He overnighted us the pins. He overnighted us a temperature harness that was already terminated. The guy just went above and beyond and took care of us, got us back on the road. And as of right now, the car is 100%. We did run into one issue. The whole like not going into gear and getting stuck in fourth, getting stuck in sixth, leaving me stranded in the hood. all that's fixed. That's no problem anymore. The only problem I've had is I let the battery, and I think this is the correlation. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't see how it could really be this because the GCU is powered off with the key off, but left the battery off for like a week, and it lost its adaptions again, and I don't know if this was correlated to that or if it's still just an HTG problem. But I can tell you right now, the last couple of days of driving, last weekend, yesterday, today, it drove better than it's ever driven. If it stays like it is right now, I'm 100% confident that this thing could make a drag and drive event, could drive across the country. I mean, it drives so fantastic, and we've got the auto mode fixed where we just press drive and we drive, and I've got all that taken care of. I've got the take up nice and soft now for smooth driving. I could put my wife in this car and just say, put it in drive mode and go drive it, and she could do it. Anybody could do it. Of course, she's a badass driver, so she could pretty much drive anything. I mean, look at that thing. So anyways, just happy to say that we've got that taken care of. Our window broke. I think somebody like leaned up against the glass, because on E30s it just kind of barely hangs up like that. And I think what happened is somebody was like, dang boy, look at this car, and just put all their weight on that, and it broke one of the brackets. And I'll put a picture up of the bracket right here. Justin re-welded this thing back, and then I just urethaned it back on there, and we stuck it in. But it still, now it kind of makes this like noise, like I don't know what's going on with that, but whatever. It works, it goes up. Car's wet, it was raining outside. So we've got that fixed. We had a gas tank crack. Oh my God, my gas tank cracked at one of the welds. 30 minutes into fixed trans test drive and chill. Yeah, it's great. I mean, on a drive, gas tank cracked on one of the welds, and they re-welded everything. I took it over to RCI over in Tyler, Texas, and they welded it while I waited. So they fixed that up, but it was just pouring fuel out the butt end of this thing, almost next to the exhaust. I mean, it was like inches from the exhaust as we were driving. I got some pictures of that I'll put up showing you, maybe right there. Yeah, the gas tank. Look at that. Sucks. Anyways, got that fixed, got the window fixed, got the transmission fixed. Yeah, certified ripper now, so I don't think anything's changed in the engine bay. I think it's the same old same. I finally got that little cover on, so now the little scoop, the scoopy scoop, is complete. Yeah, I mean, I kind of hacked it up, but whatever. I've got the little cover on there, and that works. And we painted, I put the little mesh screen in there, and I painted the mesh screen black, and it just sits right in front of it, so nothing can get into there. So nice and protected. So yeah, it's gonna rain. Today's Mother's Day, and I'm gonna go see my mom. And then next week I'm gonna drive it for a little bit and just kind of see how it does. Hopefully it doesn't lose its adaptions. We've got the diff being redone at this point. We've cleaned it and we painted it and pulled all the seals out, pulled all the races out. So it's a bare diff. We've got a whole rebuild kit in here for it. Speed sensor, or speed wheel, speed ring, I guess. Got a 373 pinion. The ring gear is already on the diff. We put it on there. There's the pinion. We're gonna have PPF make us some billet hubs. Hopefully they get them done in time for the drag and drive event. But we're gonna get billet 4-lug hubs that go into E34 billet. They're gonna make them billet drive flanges. So that combined with the Porsche 930 axles, the 108 CVs, all this stuff down here, Virgil's mount kit for the E46 rear cover, all that combined is going to go in the back, and we should be able to destroy some tires without having to worry about it. So anyways, that's our update. I know it's not a whole lot of driving. I did do a little bit of the automatic driving showcase, so I will show you guys some of that. This video is after, or this driving video is before this. So I have fixed a couple of things. I fixed its harsh take up, and I fixed it to where it will go into first gear without having to come to a complete stop. And I lowered the shift points from first to second. So it drives so nice now. But the video you'll kind of see. Oh, and the clutch deal. So the clutch, you'll see that I showcase using the clutch again. Yeah, it works pretty good. The biggest problem with this clutch is that it's so easy to push. You can't really come off of the clutch easy because it doesn't have any resistance. So I've got to do something about, you know, pushing it down with some resistance. I got to figure something out. So anyways, I will show you guys that video, and then hopefully you guys will get some first-person view driving here soon. So something really cool that I've been working on lately after getting the transmission fixed has been our auto mode. Typically we've just put it into manual mode and just shifted it ourselves. But I really wanted to be able just to press drive and just go drive the car around. And we have successfully been able to map that. So it's pretty cool how it works. Just taking off. Just like a normal car. Like any old car. We went and cruised around in it, and it did fine. It downshifts on its own, and so right now you can't really tell it's downshifting, but it is downshifting, and it's in second gear right now, coming to a stop. It will stay in second until VSS is 0. Which I'm going to try to see if I can make it to where it'll at least downshift into first under 4 or 5 kilometers an hour. But I like the way this works because I can just take off and drive like normal. And if you want to be aggressive, you can. Little jump here. Whee! I mean, it just like, that's like 20% throttle. It just effortlessly accelerates. Just stick it in drive and go. I mean, anybody can get in this car and just drive it now. It's pretty incredible. You don't even have to use the paddle shifters if you don't want to. Another thing we did, we redid some of the clutch linearization. So, you know, right now it's in first gear. I can put the clutch in. But what's really cool is like we redid the clutch linearization where it's not so abrupt now. So I can pretty much, like, you can watch the clutch pedal operate. Like that's like a regular. So it makes for pretty interesting analog driving. So it's like you can still drive this thing like a normal clutched car if you want. Just, and you can literally still stall it like a normal clutched car. So there's a little bit of refinement that's got to go there. But yeah, I mean, it's very analog. So I've got these things hang up, and then I can't really control the clutch very well. So I usually drive barefoot. But right now the clutch is in, and I can just take off like. Still has a little bit of refinement, as you can tell. and me trying to hold the phone and everything kind of sucks. But if I wanted to take off like real slow, I can do it. I don't have really any springs, any feedback on here, so I've got to add some resistance to this so that I can kind of make it feel a little bit more natural. But you know, there it goes, and it's good for launches. So I could just, you know, hold it up at like 3,000, hold my launch control. Yeah, and that was like first into second gear. So, pretty crazy. That's definitely the fun button. Anyways, just thought I'd showcase that. And then we can just, you know, drive along, put it in drive. It just, all right, back to normal. Drive normal. So, yeah. It's pretty much gonna rain today, so I'm not really gonna be able to go out and do a whole lot of driving. But it's kind of cool. I can just drive one-handed. Drive like a gangster. It just does its thing. And if I want to like just get down on it, I can just downshift and let it rip. And it does its own shifting. All right, that's all for today, folks.
Tell me a sound that's better than this.